Now, did you feel it? I don't know.
I didn't.
No, me neither. But people are buzzing on social media tonight saying they felt a boom shake just before 8:30.
A News 8 photojournalist in Lakeside and one of our producers in Encinitas say they felt it too. On Twitter, Michelle said she's thinking it was a sonic boom, and La Playa Book says UFO or earthquake. I can't tell anymore. We were actually talking, you and I, up in our offices. I did not feel it.
I did not either. No, let us know. Tweet at me if you heard it. Yeah.
And this is one story that keeps getting bigger, the lab leak theory, the possibility that the virus, the Wuhan virus, escaped during risky research projects. The Wuhan laboratory had samples of bat coronaviruses before the pandemic. So what was China doing with these samples? Did they modify them to make a virus that is more lethal? Tonight we have two videos that prove how China was storing bats inside the Wuhan lab and collecting bat coronaviruses, and how Chinese researchers were manipulating them. These revelations come straight from the horse's mouth. Xi Zhengli, the Batwoman of China, and Peter Daszak, the man who funded this research. Take a look.
This is a story of two videos and one cover-up.
And it looks like
Video number 1 is from the Wuhan lab in China. What you see is a dedicated animal room inside the lab. Bats are locked up inside cages. A scientist is seen feeding a bat a worm. This video is from 2017. It's one of the many propaganda videos that the Chinese state has produced in the past to showcase its progress in science. Fast forward a few minutes. You'll find China's Batwoman Xi Zhengli herself. She's talking about what they do at the Wuhan lab.
After more than 10 years of research, we have proved that the SARS virus originated from bats. In addition, we have found that bats carry many other kinds of viruses, such as adenoviruses. Filamentous viruses also have other types of coronaviruses. The results of our research provide an important basis for the prevention and control of new infectious diseases in the future.
That statement is a confirmation. The Wuhan lab did have samples of multiple bat coronaviruses. Samples that China's Batwoman, Xi Zhengli, didn't share with the WHO investigators who visited Wuhan in January this year. Why is this significant? This brings us to video number 2 and this man, Peter Daszak, increasingly at the center of the Wuhan lab leak theory. Here's what he said in December 2020. No bats were sent to the Wuhan lab. We collect bat samples, send them to the lab. We release bats where we catch them. This man is the president of the EcoHealth Alliance, an NGO that channeled American funds into bat coronavirus research in China. Conveniently, Peter Daszak also happened to be on the WHO team investigating the origins of the virus on behalf of the WHO. But it seems that he's been muddling the probe. First, he said the Wuhan lab stored no bat samples. Then he got the Lancet to reject the lab leak theory. When the pandemic began spreading around the world, Daszak orchestrated a letter in the Lancet that rejected the idea of a potential leak. But the skeletons are tumbling out of the Daszak cupboard. A conservative website called The National Interest has unearthed a video from 2016. This is where Daszak publicly admitted that the Wuhan lab was modifying viruses to see if they could bind to human cells. The statement fits the description of gain-of-function research.
then when you get a sequence of a virus and it looks like a relative of a known nasty pathogen, just like we did with SARS, we found other coronaviruses in bats, a whole host of them. Some of them looked very similar to SARS. So we sequenced the spike protein, the protein that attaches to cells. Then I didn't do this work, but my colleagues in China did the work.
So the Wuhan lab was modifying viruses. The Wuhan lab was also storing bat samples. And from Chinese scientists to American funding agents, everyone kept misleading investigators. After the outbreak last year, Xi Zhengli claimed China had no samples that matched the Wuhan virus. Peter Daszak denied funding risky research.
This morning, the sound of U.S. Navy sailors reacting to a radar screen tracking unidentified objects flying around their stealth ship.
Oh, 138 knots. Going fast.
At times, the radar lighting up with 9 objects. It could be similar to those captured on night vision and infrared video, swarming warships for nearly a week in July of 2019, then disappearing without a trace.
So that one's pretty much perfectly 000 relative, right? Yeah.
At one point, 2 objects suddenly vanishing from the screen, something experts say can happen with smaller targets. But the man who released the leaked video, Jeremy Corbell, says it might suggest the objects went above or below the radar range.
It's moving above the capacity for that radar to see it, or they're moving below. which would mean into the water.
Earlier this month, the filmmaker released another video showing a flying sphere drop into the ocean.
What was splashed?
Saying USOs, or unidentified submerged objects, have also been tracked by the military. When asked about the radar video, a Pentagon spokesperson would only confirm they were taken by Navy personnel and were part of a review of unidentified aerial phenomenon, but wouldn't comment about how they were released.
Why are they confirming these videos that are leaked to you?
They want to be ahead of it, and they're out of options. There's a lot of pressure by the global public and the American public, for answers.
And after years of Navy fighter pilots also reporting other incidents where flying objects seem to accelerate instantly or fly at supersonic speeds without breaking the sound barrier, lawmakers on intelligence committees are demanding answers.
There's enough obvious evidence here that we need to take this seriously, not downplay it, and try to gather as much information as we can to figure out what is it these pilots are seeing and what does it mean.
Right now, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and of course, if other nations have capabilities that we don't know of, we want to find out. If there's some explanation other than that, we want to learn that too.
Gotti, we mentioned that looming intelligence report on UFOs from the Pentagon. What can we expect from that?
Well, Chanel, technically that report is due around the end of June, but there is a chance it could be delayed. And there's also some debate over whether this could be Russia or China who have invested heavily in advanced drone technology. But one source told me that if this does turn out to be a different country, brazenly mocking our warships right off of our own coast night after night, this could represent an intelligence failure so big it might make some in the Pentagon wish these were actually from somewhere else.
Can't wait to find that out. My goodness. All right, Gotti, thank you.
Wow. What do you think, Dylan Dreyer? You think that they're
life UFOs? I think maybe they're UFOs from the future.